Welcome back. How's your week been, Mitch?
Agree to disagree, Keith.
Agree to disagree. So,
Week's been fine, buddy.
good, man. Good. So, Thanksgiving's coming up
It is.
next week. So, I want to talk about we're in this series, the Anxiety Antidote, talking about anxiety and talking about not the clinical anxiety, but just the everyday anxiety. And Thanksgiving's coming up. Time to be around family.
Yay.
Which generally brings up some anxiety, right? So what gives you the most anxiety around the holidays? Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter. What gives you the most anxiety?
The most? I don't know. I'm not a very anxious person. I don't. I think maybe for me it's doesn't give me anxiety, but the frustration point would be like the overpacked calendar of events.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Got to go here, got to go there.
the
You're
addition.
going to be late to this because you got this.
Yeah, and it's like, well, why? Well, all the things, there's no bad things in there. They're all good things, but like, I just want to whittle them in half and just be like, do half the things.
Yeah. I find the anxiety for me is around having people over, making sure the house is clean, appropriately, making sure the food is good. Like I want to make sure we have good food, right? And I think what frustrates me about Thanksgiving every year is no matter how much you plan it, no matter how much other people are bringing this and that and this, and all you got to do is you go through all this time and preparation, and everybody eats in like 10 minutes. You go through hours of making this turkey and carving it and, all this stuff, and everybody sits down and you're all done in 10 minutes. And it's like, you spent all this time on like 10 minutes, And I think that sometimes, I don't want to say frustrates me, but it's like, why do you go through all the anxiety of like, ooh, is the seasoning right? Do I want a little more salt in the mashed potatoes? Hey, taste this for me again. Taste this for me again. Taste this for me again. And everybody's just going to eat it. It's going to be delicious. It's going to be fun.
But is some of this just like our blip in time that we exist based on the timeline of human existence and, modern age of things and this expectation of what is the, throw up the air quotes around the traditional Thanksgiving meal. Well, you can only take that back to like Thanksgiving, the first one, couple 100 years old, right? 500, whatever. Right? You got New World discovered, 1492.
Yeah, I wasn't
Ferdinand, Isabel.
That's like 550 years.
Yeah,
I guess,
ish.
roughly. Yeah,
I don't
ish.
know. And
Okay.
then you got those other cats came along, Plymouth Rock, all that stuff. I don't know, almost died. Those things. I don't have all my dates on my history. What I'm saying is, you only have that. It's just a small blip, and then you're talking about. So when you look at this very modern, you're like, oh, everybody just sits down and eats in 10 minutes, and well, is that just a construct of our modern society of how we do things?
Yeah, I think
is a 10-minute meal like a long meal?
Maybe for some people. I would say I think for us we have so few things to worry about in reality to like say the Pilgrims, right? The very first Pilgrims. I mean, they were probably sitting down at a table wondering if a wolf was going to come and eat them while they were eating. Right, like
so maybe they ate quick too.
You don't know. They ate really quick, and
I don't know.
But you know what I'm saying? Like they're new people in a new land, trying to start a new life. They don't know.
So based off perspective, we have
so few things to worry about that we worry about the littlest things because we're
just hardwired to worry about stuff to distract ourselves.
Well,
with
fight or flight, right? Your spidey senses is always going off all the time. Is this a threat? Is this not a threat?
I want to choose to do it differently.
Okay, you can choose to do it differently. But do you have a time?
Do you let the kids eat first?
I've
made a switch.
No, we tend to eat all at the same time. I'm trying to remember. Last year, we had 2 separate tables.
I just mean the
Kid
big
table,
family
adult.
buffet style thing.
Oh, yeah. We just put everything on the counter.
Yeah,
and we're like, hey, dinner's on. And then you just get it.
But do
everybody
you
sits
send
down.
the kids through? You're like, all right, get the kids. And
Yeah,
because
we still have a 4-year-old. So it's like, what do you want on your plate?
Yeah, but
right?
do you send them through first?
Yeah.
We made this great switch. It's kind of fun to just like, because they'll all be out playing football or what. Anyway, don't even call them in.
Oh, that doesn't work in my house. Because they're always hungry. You know what I mean? Like, you'd say, like, go outside and play. 10 minutes later, hey, can we have a snack out here? Right? Like, they're always hungry. So that doesn't work in our house. No, I think in the root of the anxiety is you want it to be perfect. But it's not going to be perfect, right? Like, you love your family. You want the day to just be perfect. You want the turkey to be perfect. You want this. Have you ever given somebody a gift?
I've given up
that
the
you
pursuit
wanted.
of perfection.
You wanted to be perfect, and it was like less than perfect. I have plenty of examples, and all of them are to my wife. Where I'm like, this is the perfect gift. Like a washer and dryer, like a vacuum. Perfect gifts.
That didn't play out very well.
No, I guess not. They were not. They were less than perfect gifts.
Well, what about well, yeah, we did read this week with scripture about Joseph's coat that Jacob gave him, and his coat of many colors, his very pretty special coat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to your point, awesome gift.
Yeah.
But the context with which it was given may have also implied some things that made Joseph not very popular with his peer group.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Joseph gets this coat, and it's yet just another reason for his brothers to resent him.
Yeah.
Followed by some more dreams that he probably shouldn't have shared with them. Dreams about how they're going to bow down to him and he's going to rule over them.
Yeah.
So coupling with the combination of the father's overt favoritism, which I'd say parenting advice: let your children know you have a favorite. Just keep them guessing which one that is.
Oh, I have a favorite.
Oh, I have a favorite.
Is it me? Maybe.
Depends.
You want to go get ice cream? Just you and me, buddy.
It's terrible. No, but seriously, let them know you have a favorite. Just don't let them know who it is.
Parenting question for you.
Yeah,
I had it. Wait,
I think Jacob. This is a party foul here.
Yeah.
But anyway,
in line with this, right? Like, I had 2 wildly different sets of grandparents, right? One set of grandparents would get me and my brother the exact same gift.
had to open at the same time.
Had to open at the same time. It was
your brother
it was
older
the
or
exact
younger?
Yeah, older.
Perfect. You made out like a bandit on that.
Yeah, I did. I got an electric razor before I even had hair on my face.
Yeah.
Got a wallet before I even knew what wallets were. I did actually know I had one of those Velcro wallets. Those things were great. And then the other set of grandparents would just buy us what they thought we wanted, right? And there was no like, oh, I'm going to spend $100 on this kid and $100 on this kid, right? They would just buy the gift that, they thought we wanted. Wildly different approaches to it.
Okay.
Keep
going with your story.
Completely equal gifts.
Yeah.
Gifts based off of that kid.
But still quasi-equitable?
I mean,
from a expenditure standpoint?
Sure, the other set of grandparents weren't that well off.
Or anyway,
So
which group, which pair did you have a closer relationship with? Which one knew you as a person?
Definitely the mixed gifts.
Yeah.
And,
So their specialized gifts
yeah,
were because they knew you
maybe.
as a person and wanted, whereas
Now, what do you do with your kids?
the other
Do you
side
set
is
a-
the other side's safer. The other side's a safer bet to, just still gift, but they may not. They don't have the relationship.
But
There's
at
always
the same,
gonna
but
be
at
a
the same
greater-
time, you think you appreciate the gifts that are more personalized, and it's not like the other set of grandparents could have been like, "Yo, hey, what are the kids like? What do they want? What's on their what's on their list? What do they like?" And then do it that way, right? Like we as parents, we'll set the budget. We'll sit down. Sean and I will sit down and, okay, how much do we want to spend on each kid? We budget out, the Christmas gifts, so we don't overspend. Like, you get to January and you're like, how much money do we spend on Christmas, right? Like we
don't want to
budget
do that.
it. And so everything's within that, within that budget. Some kid might get one bigger gift and then a few smaller gifts versus another kid gets an equal amount of gifts or whatever. Is that how you guys, or do you guys just do like one gift and it doesn't really matter what the price is? It's just whatever that kid wants.
Off and on over the years, like we've done some trips, as gifts also.
The family.
So then there'll be like trip related things,
Mm-hmm.
right? Since my kids don't listen to my podcast, and I know I'm not going to ruin any surprises, and if you're out there and you know my kids and you listen to the podcast, don't spoil the surprise. But no, we're going. We have some winter sports planned.
Oh, fun.
On a trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, take it or leave it. But or what? Anyway, some everybody's getting a set of the old protective, keep the snow out of your face, goggle things.
Yeah,
which I'm like gonna need that for winning the World Series.
You should borrow my GoPros. That'd be fun.
Yeah, but like the only place I see ski goggles are like at Chief Super Bowl parades. Royals 2015 World Series parades.
I hear they're really good for like go-karts and stuff like dirt bikes.
Yeah,
because they cover like the whole face.
I'll probably anyway, so we're getting those. I'll probably use them to mow, right? Like just keep the dust out of your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
The like regular glasses don't.
Mm-hmm. Smart.
Anyway,
okay.
Don't ruin my kid's Christmas.
I won't. I'll probably forget by the time we leave this room. I think that's a good approach. We do like a family gift.
Yeah, we do stuff like that.
Yeah. Like Clark Griswold getting the pool.
Yeah. Stuff like that. Going on a trip, going places, doing stuff. So anyway, if we're going places and doing stuff is the trip, usually there'll be small little knick-knacky things that can go along with it.
Okay.
If the trip's some sort of a surprise, maybe like it turns into like a guessing game to figure out where we're going or what we're doing.
Yeah. I just find growing up with our parents, sometimes me and my brother, sometimes we got the same gift. Like if he got a bike, I got a bike, right? Like a big kind of gift or whatever. But I do remember some years, like when we got older and we were both into computers, we really needed separate computers instead of having a family computer because we would fight over it. And so like some years, he would get the new one, and then maybe the next year I would get the new one, or 2 years later I get the new one, or whatever. But I never really felt like slighted. You know what I mean? Like when my brother got something more expensive, like I guess I never realized as a kid how expensive things were or weren't. But to me, it was like, oh, that's cool. You got a new computer. That's awesome. I got this computer game I really wanted.
Yeah.
Like, it was always about like what I, my gift, what I wanted, right? I never really compared and contrasted. So,
Well, and I think kind of to your point, to tie it all back, I think you had two different experiences. You had, when you're referencing grandparents and gift giving, you had a very specific, known, you felt very known with a gift. But between you and your brother, that was equal. There was equity there,
yeah.
right? I think what we're talking about, with Jacob and Joseph here and all of Joseph's other brothers is just this blatant
Disregard.
favoritism. It's almost like like the teacher's pet, right? Like it could just be a good kid, but they just get such a bad rap because of overt favoritism by the teacher that she doesn't even know what they're doing. Like, doesn't even know they could be causing making a hard life for the poor kid, right?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever. Now, I've heard examples of like, the mom that had like two boys and then finally got the girl, right? And it's just like spoils the girl, or reverse, right? The dad that had a couple girls and then finally got the son and was just like, but I just don't like, I get in my brain, like, I don't, now I could have a favorite, and no, I will tell you this. I do have a favorite. It's until they talk back, and then they're no longer my favorite.
I have a favorite. It's my wife. It's another little nugget for you. There's some married with children advice. Make sure you remind your kids, remind them often that you chose your spouse and you got them.
You didn't choose your kids. That's terrible.
What? No, you didn't. You didn't pick them out. You got them, and they're part of you, and that's wonderful. But nowhere in there was it a lifetime commitment.
That's true.
Like your marriage is. You chose your spouse as a lifetime commitment there.
I wonder if like, I'm sure this is terrible.
And it'll protect you from heartache whenever they grow up and move on. And
yeah, well, thinking about moving on, like, divorce is so common in the U.S. that it's almost like, for a lot of people, their spouse isn't their lifelong commitment, but their kids are.
Wow.
Think about that, because I think most older parents would agree that just because your kids move out doesn't mean you're still not parenting them for the rest of their life.
Well, that's not the plan. That's not the design.
My parents included.
Just because it might be in practice doesn't mean that's the design.
I'm just saying.
I'm attempting to grow self-sufficient organisms, but maybe it's yet to be seen whether I can succeed.
Yeah, I don't.
Pretty good kids so far, though.
Yeah, well, let's see how we feel when our kids are like 30 and 40.
Grant helped me put up the Christmas lights.
I
up the ladder, man.
Up the ladder
up
and
the
everything.
Ladder.
Now, when you put up the Christmas lights, did you staple them or did you use the clips?
Both.
Okay.
Both. So I used the little clips to do per bulb up the eaves, up into the shingle,
under the shingle, yeah,
up around the gable end eaves there, on the, and then along the gutter, and then up and down the next eve, and then I come back around and staple them around my garage door opening, which I think it's kind of whimsical. I think I use the large multicolored bulbs. And then when you go along the garage door with the staple, they don't fall in a uniform, consistent pattern of the way the bulb is. So it's kind of like Charlie Brown Christmas tree style. You know, like
Yeah.
I like it. It's
Good. So he helped. That's good. If people don't know this about me, I do not do heights. Um, on the ground, I look up and I say, I can go that high and put a light on that. And then if I get 6 foot or more off the ground, I'm like, nope, this is not safe for me. And so I have to come back down. So Shauna does the lights, unless I can get on like a step stool, like a painting ladder, like a 4-foot painting ladder or something like that. No problem. But beyond that, and I also don't need the uniform look. I'm very particular about a lot of things, but I don't need the bulbs, the exact spacing, right? And
it's
pointing
just way
up
hard.
or-
It's just way harder. The individual clips, the lights are too heavy
yes.
to do clips every 5th bulb or something.
Sure.
That doesn't work.
Sure.
So you have to do them every one of those big bulbs anyway. So I think net for net time vested in clips for staple gun. Yeah, the staple gun I just breeze through doing the garage.
Yeah,
I'm doing it from the ground. I'm just, but then I do got to come back.
And then
later.
you get on. You
No, you gotta.
you just pull it, and they all just pop out.
No, you can do that with the clips. You can pull it down like that, but not with the staples. You'll break your wire. So you got to go pull out the staple if you want to use your lights next year.
Yeah, that's true. Now, do you use the same lights and same color every year, or do you switch it up?
I'm about 10 years on the same scheme. Well, maybe not that long. Maybe 8 years on the same scheme, and I just this year finally replaced at the end of the season last year. Got new strands of pretty much the same thing.
Same color though. Yeah.
I like all the colors.
Now, does your wife, does she decorate the tree the same way every year, or is it like different colors for different years?
Same way.
Now, do you guys have like your keepsake ornaments that because that was like what we did growing up, was like
Got a whole box of those.
And then by the time we were teenagers, like the whole tree was just filled with all of these, or it was just a haphazard placing of a bazillion ornaments that didn't make any sense but to us.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. We don't really do that. My parents give the kids every year a bell with a year on it, and we put those up. But then beyond that, Sean's very, sometimes we'll have silver
Silver
ornaments.
bells.
We had a blue Christmas once. I think we had a white and blue. We had like a red and white. So it changes. It changes at the Hall house.
That's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I take it or leave it. I could have a little mini tree for all it's, like just a little mini one. I think I did when I was single. I think that's what I had for the longest time, was just this little tiny, little tree, plugged it in, then just mounted gifts around it for fun. Yeah.
That's great. Is your Christmas stuff up already?
No, Sean
your lights are up.
Sean wanted to do it last weekend. The goal was the lights. This weekend is the tree. She came home early for a dentist appointment yesterday, and it was like 4:00 or something when she got home. She's like, well, should we get out the Christmas stuff? And I'm like, no, we shouldn't. Let's just sit here and talk to each other for a little bit. So no, that's going to be Saturday's gig. I am a little, I'm happy and a little bit upset about, so I'm a little anxious about Saturday. The Kearney High School is the quarterfinals for state here.
Home game.
I think it starts at 1:00.
You going?
Well,
You got your tickets?
Well, so we had tickets for the musical on Saturday at 2:00. Well, they moved the musical since it's going to be It's packed, and then they don't want people to be at the musical and not the game, or the game and not the
Well,
musical.
and the kids participating in the
Exactly.
musical may have vested interest in the school athletics. And,
Exactly. You may have a cheerleader that also does the musical, right? And then what are you going to do, right? Or a band member, because it is a musical, right? So they moved.
Man, I love musicals.
Dude, I love musicals. It's one of my favorite.
What's your favorite musical?
Oh man. Now, favorite musical or favorite musical that I was a part of?
No, just which like the
Out of any of them that I've ever seen.
like if off Broadway was coming to town.
Sweeney Todd.
Ooh,
For sure.
Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd is like probably one of the classic. We never did it in school or in community theater.
So the lady with the bakes and Sweeney Todd with the
the Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
She also reminds me of the foster innkeepers of Les Miserables.
Oh, yeah.
There's that kind of that same
Vibe.
same vibe there,
Yeah.
but both characters musical characters. I enjoy both of those.
Now, I do like A Christmas Carol. The Kansas City Rep Theater out of UMKC or over by the UMKC campus.
Oh, yeah.
Every year does A Christmas Carol.
Where are they doing that this year? I think I just heard it's
Should be at the Rep unless they're moving it for
no,
some
I
reason.
thought it was not the Rep.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know that it was them doing it. Maybe it was another troupe.
Oh, it could
Maybe
be.
another group doing
could
it
be.
somewhere else.
But
Anyway,
that's one of
blah, blah,
one of our favorite growing up that we went and saw and we did it for years and years and years, and they always change it a little bit between year and year, so it's kind of it's not always the same show. Obviously, the actors kind of change, but sometimes they'll change scenes or costumes or the set changes. So it's really kind of cool to see it from year to year and kind of be like, oh wow, that changed. So that's one of my favorite.
Anyway, sorry, interrupted. Got on a musical
So anyway,
kick.
so they moved the musical to Sunday.
What time?
1:00, 1 or 2:00 or whatever for the matinee. Because Sean was going to take the girls. It's The Little Mermaid. Like,
Yeah.
You gotta love that. Well, so now we don't know what to do because we were going to do the tree, but like the game's on Saturday. We want to go see the game. But I'm also a big fan of watching games from home, which you can do. By the way, it's on TV. It's not on like TV. You gotta pay like $20 or something, but you can get it from the website, the state website.
Cool.
Or you can listen to the radio. So anyway, I'm kind of bummed about that because now we can't go on Sunday because we have other plans.
Shoot.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm a little anxious about that. I'm a little anxious about the game. I hope they do good.
Hey, looks like sands of time are running out. This has been fun. Everybody, go Bulldogs! Enjoy your weekend with a little bit of football in there. Get your Christmas stuff up. 'Tis the season. We have Advent coming up here in a couple weeks, so look forward to that. We're gonna have fun little teaser. We're doing choose your own adventure. So those will be a fun series of podcasts. Kind of talk about some this or that dichotomies of paths you can choose. So that'll be a fun series coming up.
And don't stress out about Thanksgiving this week.
No, we're gonna have a great discussion on gratitude next week related to Thanksgiving. So don't stress out on that week, and hopefully you'll have a podcast about gratitude to go along with the thankfulness of Thanksgiving. But until next time, guys, appreciate having you.
Later.
Later, Keith.